Welcome to the Divine Frequency. In today's episode, we're diving deep into the roots of limiting beliefs, those invisible chains that shape how we see ourselves, what we believe we can do, and what we believe we deserve. We'll explore where these beliefs come from: childhood, society, family lineage, even past lives and ancestral trauma, and how science and spirituality are both pointing us to the same truth. You are not broken, you are becoming. I'll also share my own story, how I broke a lifelong belief about not being creative, and how that breakthrough reconnected me with a forgotten part of my soul. This episode is an invitation to rewrite your story, to remember your power, to rise beyond the walls that were never truly yours. Some walls are not built of brick, but of quiet words spoken in childhood, of glances, doubts, and silent comparisons. They rise, unseen, inside the mind and heart, and we carry them like invisible chains. But every chain has a key, and every key begins with a question. What if I am not broken? What if I was never meant to be small? You are not your past. You are not your fears. You are the one who came to break the cycle, to remember your truth, to free your soul, to rise. Limiting beliefs are often planted early, long before we know who we are. From birth to about age 7, our brain operates mostly in a theta state, a deeply suggestible brainwave, like hypnosis. In this state, children absorb everything: words, emotions, reactions, without filters. So when a parent says, "Money doesn't grow on trees," or "You'll never make it as a football player," or "You'll never make it as a musician," or "You'll never make it," and you fill in the blank, it doesn't just enter the ear, it enters the subconscious. Society, too, adds layers. You have to struggle to succeed. Be realistic. Dreams are for the lucky. And then come the failures, the test we didn't pass, the rejection that stung, the comparison to someone better. Each moment becomes a brick in a wall we didn't even know we were building. But failure is not the enemy. It is the teacher. Every success has a trail of missteps before it, because mistakes carve the path to mastery. What makes the difference is not what happens, but what we believe it means. And it's not just this life. Some beliefs are echoes from the lives before this one. Science is now confirming what ancient wisdom has always known, that we carry more than just our own memories. We carry imprints. Epigenetics teaches us that trauma, stress, and emotional experiences can leave molecular markers on our genes, and those markers can be passed down to children, grandchildren, and even generations beyond. A study of Holocaust survivors revealed that the fear of starvation, imprinted in a mother's body, was passed to her children and grandchildren, not as memory, but as genetic predisposition. Anxiety, hypervigilance, scarcity, all passed on like whispers through the bloodline. Similarly, during the COVID-19 pandemic, researchers studied pregnant women before and during the crisis. Babies born to mothers pregnant during the pandemic had elevated stress markers on their genes, while those conceived before it did not. The mother's emotional state became part of the baby's biological story. But this inheritance doesn't end with DNA, it extends to the soul. Many of us carry unhealed patterns from past lives: the artist whose work was mocked, the healer who was silenced, the child who never felt safe. Those stories live in our cellular memory, and they resurface in this life as irrational fear, self-doubt, or resistance to joy. We may find ourselves stuck in a cycle and not know why, not realizing the cycle didn't begin here. But awareness is the beginning of healing. You are not doomed by your past, nor bound by your bloodline. You are the bridge. And the moment you choose to rewrite the pattern, you begin healing forward and backward in time. For most of my life, I believed I couldn't paint. Not because I had tried and failed, but because I never dared to try. That voice in my head, planted long ago, whispered, "You're not an artist. You're not creative. That's for other people." And I believed it, for decades. Still, I admired art with a quiet longing. I would walk through museums in awe, feeling something stir inside me, but also feeling that it wasn't mine to claim. Until one day, I said yes. A friend invited me to a sip and paint class. I went, hesitant, with no expectations. Just an open heart and a quiet decision to try, not to be perfect, but to be present. And something happened. As I picked up that brush, a door opened. Not just in my hands, but in my soul. It was as if a memory long buried had awakened. As if my spirit whispered, "There you are. You've always known how to do this." That one class became another, and another. And soon, I had painted over 50 canvases. Each stroke became a meditation. Each color, a healing. I no longer cared if it was good enough. I wasn't painting for approval. I was painting to remember who I was before the world told me who I wasn't. And people noticed. They called me an artist. Not because I had credentials, but because I had the courage to express. I believe now that I may have been an artist in a past life. Or perhaps I was simply tuning into a parallel version of myself, in another reality, another timeline, where art was always my language. In truth, I was tuning into my essence. What if you're more than one story? What if the you in this moment is only a fraction of who you truly are? Quantum physics now affirms what mystics have known for centuries, that reality is not fixed, that time is not linear, that all possibilities exist simultaneously. This means you are not only shaped by your past, but also by your potential, by every version of you that could be, or already is, in a parallel timeline. You, the artist. You, the healer. You, the visionary. You, the joyful, confident, unstoppable force of light. All of these exist now, and through intention, awareness, and alignment, you can tap into those selves. Some call it divine inspiration. Some call it genius. But perhaps it's simply remembrance. You are not creating from nothing. You are channeling from the infinite. And when you align with your heart, when you silence the noise of doubt and fear, you tune into the collective consciousness. The sacred memory of all who've lived, all who've dreamed, all who've dared to step into their truth. This is why some people pick up an instrument and play as if they've done it before. This is why a child may paint, sing, or build with astonishing mastery. They're not learning. They're remembering. You are not disconnected. You are not alone. You are a thread in the divine tapestry of existence, and you have access to all of it. If you take anything from this message, let it be this: your beliefs are not your truth. They are stories you were given, stories you inherited, stories you outgrew long ago. But stories can be rewritten. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not behind. You are aligning. The doubt you carry is not yours to keep. The fear you feel is not your final story. You are here to remember that you are worthy. That you are powerful. That you are whole. Every time you say, "I'm not enough," the universe responds, "Yes, you are, more than enough." It's time to step beyond the fence built by fear. It's time to walk into the life that has been waiting for you. So, paint. Sing. Start the business. Write the book. Say the words. Take the leap. And if the voice of doubt whispers, "But what if I fall?" let your soul answer, "But what if I fly?" This is your life. This is your power. This is your moment. Welcome to the divine frequency, where spirit meets science, where energy becomes expression, and where the truth of your infinite self begins to rise. If this message stirred something within you, please subscribe, share, and stay with us as we continue to awaken, break old cycles, and live fully in the divine frequency. In our next episode, we will go even deeper into the how. How do we break free from these beliefs? How do we step fully into the life that is waiting for us? We will explore powerful tools and inner technologies to reprogram the subconscious, so you can live not from fear, but from truth.